Hello everyone, I'm the Nerdy Fool, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. We'll be continuing where we left off last time, which was exploring through Rykad Minoris. We'd found kind of a central point for the heretics, and took out their, I guess, main base, and the lens that they were using to blind people. And then we were exploring elsewhere, and we came across these people. We actually dealt with them last time, but then the game crashed right at the end of my stream. So, yeah, this is where we left off. So we're going to have this conversation again, and then we'll be able to pick up where we ended the last stream. Some 10 people, children among them, are huddling together in fear. You see that half of them have black holes where their eyes used to be. Some maintain a gloomy silence, others are wailing. Several armed insurgents are carefully watching over the terrified hostages, snapping every now and then at someone for shaking too much or crying too loudly. Come to your senses, Arild. Look what you're doing to your own family. A woman about 60, gray-haired but still strong, is kneeling before a stocky man with a thick, pure white beard, stretching her arms towards him. Take pity on us, let us go. Fanatical man, stop talking and embrace redemption. Our children have gained true sight, while you still believe the lie. Upon seeing you, the man points his weapon at you. The other insurgents do the same. Who are you and why are you here? Now you tell me, who are you and what are you doing to these unfortunates? Are all these people your family, or what are you trying to save them from, and who's behind all this? I don't remember what choices we chose, it was last week. What are you trying to save them from, and who's behind all of this? At Aurora's behest. Aurora is a great prophet and a great warrior. Their face is shrouded, but their gaze pierces the veil of time and sees into the future. I always knew the governor's dogs were hiding the truth from us, and now the day has come. A prophet has come to Rykad Minoris and opened our eyes. The end of the world is coming, the final dawn, and only those who accept Aurora's truth will survive it. His mind and soul are pierced by shrouds of colorful deception. He was once twisted by despair, and the Imperium's influence can never be the same again. Pascal's vox hisses fiercely. Layperson, cognition is not your primary function. You are saving your kin by holding them at gunpoint, and believe that burning their eyes will grant them sight. It is evident that the author of the demagogic teachings has confused you, meant to make a mockery of your deplorable intellect. Abelard's face turns a deep red. To cast your own children into the thrall of heresy, to drown your progeny in this filth with your own hands. I remember when the Vizier used to sew our eyes shut so that his young spinners would see the truth. Cabella's voice sounds hollow, but there are glowing embers of fury in her eyes. Our rituals were one of service to him. It tempered and prepared us for our duty. What you are working here is despicable heresy, a blasphemous mockery of our sacred disciplines. Are all these people your family? All of my adopted blood children are here. I raised them all as my own, and now I must protect them, help them see. And who are you, and what are you doing with these unfortunates? I'm the chief. My former name, Arild, is meaningless now. I am a father, leading his family to deliverance from woes, to salvation. Aurora's opened my eyes to the truth, and my children will see it. Arild, spare us. Spare your children. I think we used this last time, letting Pascal talk, because his statement before was funny. Even torturing your own family in order to save them. You have been blinding them so they could see the truth. Those who lack the faith cannot grasp the truth and will not be saved. The old man is obstinate, but you sense that the confidence in his voice has diminished. So I think we have a 100% chance with any of these. Yeah. Aurora, whoever that is, has exploited your naivety. Can't you see that you're causing nothing but suffering? Think about it, what good has the final dawn done for anyone at all? Some have died, some have had their eyes burned out, some have gone insane. You believe that heretics' lies, you sold your soul to the archenemy, but if you renounce this path, you will still have a chance to be truly saved. We'll go with the logic test again. What good has the final dawn done for anyone? But they said the end was near. They promised salvation. I wanted nothing else. The man's weapon falls from his hands to the ground. He clutches his head. There's no washing the blood from your hands, but you could at least let us go, Arild. The ones you haven't mutilated yet. The old man gestures to the other insurgents, who lower their weapons. Then he shifts his gaze to you, trying to hold back tears. What happens to us now? Your family will be taken care of. As for you, I condemn you to death. The old man's body falls to the ground. As soon as the hostages see it, they start moving faster, and soon disappear around the bend. Alright, I think that picks up where we left off last time. Poor old man, I tried to talk him out of it.
Halt! I noticed something.
Yep, more traps, of course. Synth skin. I don't think we need that. Bolt pistol, is that better than the bolters people have? I'm guessing not. We will collect it and check. So Pascal had a bolter. And this is in fact worse in every way. Except it's a pistol, which means it could be used in melee.
The Emperor sets my path. Cast your eye there.
We need to investigate.
Join me in prayer. The Emperor favors me today.
I won't tolerate weakness. Follow my lead! We should deal with this. It's about time.
I see what others do not.
Pay attention. Duty prevails. Nothing escapes my sight. Never doubt me. I better myself through my service. Duty prevails. Never doubt me. The Emperor favors me today.
Alright, is the mic working? So I did plug my mic from where it was plugged in into a USB-C port instead, hoping that that would change things up, but apparently that didn't fix anything. So, yeah, I got nothing. No idea if it's a problem with the microphone, but clearly it's not a problem with the USB cable or the USB port that I was plugged into.
None shall
So yeah,
stand in my
not sure
way.
what to do about that to fix the microphone so that doesn't keep happening. Anyway, I guess we can do our level up for now. So we rank up.
Others better themselves by wholeheartedly humiliating them at every step.
That was a long phrase. So we get a new ability, which I can't use to raise my psi ranking, which is what I was thinking I was going to aim for. So we could grab another type of psychic powers. We could grab Orchestrate Flames. The target does not stop burning and no longer makes tests to stop burning. Additionally, if the target is an ally, every melee attack that the ally makes inflicts full burning damage on targets of their attack, while they themselves now only suffer half burning damage from now on. That would also be an interesting choice if I use those powers to set myself on fire to get a higher psi rating. Is I could light myself on fire, then orchestrate flames so that I no longer risk getting it put out while I take half damage. Could be an interesting choice. What about here? Soldier gives the sign they are about to open fire. Soldiers next and their allies will automatically dodge. No. Soldier immediately dashes in the selected direction, spending all of their movement points. Does not provoke attacks of opportunity. Allows the soldier to dash through allies and enemies, but not through obstacles. Don't think that really matters either. Next area attack made by the soldier deals plus 80% damage and has an additional 16% dodge reduction. Probably not. Soldier immediately spends all of their action points and movement points to gain a plus 30% bonus to cover efficiency. Next time the soldier uses run and gun, they get back all spent AP and MP plus 1 additional AP. It also resets the cooldown of all other soldier abilities except for run and gun. That one's alright. Or rapid fire. The soldier's next ranged burst attack will have its base rate of fire doubled but deal 25% less damage. Probably not, because our chosen weapon is a sniper rifle. So I think out of these, the best options would be either choosing another one of these psychic focuses or just go orchestrate flames, which I don't think I'm going to use orchestrate flames a ton, but it's nice to have if I need it. So I think I'll go with that rather than grabbing one of these, so I can just keep being mainly a pyromancer. And then a skill upgrade. We can't grab Lore Warp because we've already grabbed it. So awareness, Cassia already has that. Demolition is Cabela and Argenta. Athletics, Abelard, but we don't really have anyone who's great at it. And then Medicae is Cabela. So we don't really need any of these. Huh. Because we could do athletics, which would get us up to a 45, which means we're almost as good as Abelard. So that if Abelard's not available for whatever reason, we would at least be decent at it, since he's our only athletics character. We could also boost our awareness, because awareness is always good, and no one else is even approaching Cassia. I don't think we need Demolition or Medicae, because we already have 2 people in each of those that's really good. So I think I'll go with awareness. It's kind of a waste, but none of the other skills really, out of these 5, really matter anyway. Abelard, what are we going to do with you? So he's already got these 2. Sworn enemy, the warrior makes a target, marks a target, gaining 22% armor and +6 damage on melee attacks against that target. That sounds great. Target attacks the warrior during this round. The warrior gains +1 AP once per round. That sounds really good. Breakthrough. Warrior gains the slash ability with 2 charges for this round. Slash cannot be used in the same round as charge. The warrior dashes through an enemy to the cell on the enemy's opposite side and makes a melee attack with 50% reduced damage. So this allows him to charge through an enemy effectively, getting on the opposite side and getting 2 attacks that do half damage. So roughly equivalent to normal attack. Although if people have damage reduction, whatever they called it in this game, that would apply twice rather than once if it was just a single full damage attack. Forceful strike. The warrior gathers all their might for a crushing strike. Their next melee attack pushes the enemy away. The distance of the push is equal to 3 cells. I think I heard that this also does extra damage if they can't go back that far. Because normally knocking away an enemy is not what I want my melee characters to do. I want them up against the enemy. And Taunting Scream, where unleashes a terrifying scream, drawing the attention of their enemies and becoming a priority target for any enemy who fails a willpower resistance test for 3 rounds. Also good. So do we have him focus on a single enemy or taunt to get all enemies focused on him? I think I'm going to go Sworn Enemy, but I do like the taunt. So maybe next time we'll grab that. Then a common talent. Let's see, were there any I'd marked that I wanted to grab? Nope. We've already grabbed all of them. No other character in the current party has the same archetype as this character. The first archetype ability used in each combat by this character costs 1 AP less. That's kind of lame. He's the only one who's a warrior, so it would apply, but meh. Pure World characters gain plus 10% critical hit chance and plus 10 armor against xenos and demons. We currently aren't fighting xenos or demons, so I don't think that particularly matters. Stronger together. Again, xenos. No. Excluding xenos. The current party gains plus 5 to the same characteristics that was chosen. Again, not super important. We could boost characteristics since none of the abilities really strike me as amazing. No, don't care about ranged weapon. Yeah, a lot of the Navy officer stuff is about penetration with ranged weapons, or just making ranged weapons better, which doesn't really apply to him because he's a warrior. So I could boost a skill, I could boost characteristics. Could I boost his weapon skill? I can, actually. Give him +5. It's not amazing because it doesn't boost it up to a whole number. If I chose a skill, is that +10? +7. That's weird. No, it is just straight up +7. It's not due to math or anything. That's really weird. Seven just seems like such a random number. But I could take one of his skills and boost it up. I don't know. I guess none of these really strike me as very impressive. So I think I would just give him weapon skill, make him better at attacking, more likely to hit, more likely to parry, and just call that good enough. Cassia, tell me you've got something good. So she gets a talent. I do have some marked as talents that I want to grab. Okay, so the same usual general list down here. I don't have anything marked for this upper tier, but since the talents that show up aren't always the same, possible I haven't looked at these. Range of the officer's abilities increased by 3, and the range of voice of command is increased by 6. Not bad. Bonus to perception and ballistic skill equal to 4. 4 is such a terrible... Like, sub 10 always feels like a weird bonus, because it's probably not going to actually give you any sort of real, you know, improvement. Increasing resolve, don't care about. Increasing resolve, don't care about. Grants temporary wounds. No, none of these are really striking me as that impressive, which is probably why they're not. Yeah, why I didn't mark any of them. So if we look at the ones I have marked, Mind Over Matter. Navigator makes all resistance tests with their willpower if it's higher than the base characteristic. So that just keeps her alive better. Strange Vitality, same thing. Navigator heals 6 wounds at the beginning of every turn and gains 1 additional wound for every Navigator talent taken. So again, keeps her alive better. Then Veil of Protection. Allies that are targeted by the Navigator's power gain more armor. This additional armor is reduced by an amount of Veil degradation. So this one would help everyone else. Which I think I'm going to take it. Because I think she is not getting attacked terribly often. So boosting allies is a smarter choice. Alright, and so in your case, you've already boosted your fellowship as much as you can. Perception would get it to a whole number, which probably what I'm going to do then. Although boosting willpower is also always good for her, but we're going to go perception. Pascal. What about you? We do have plenty we've marked for you. Okay. Toward characters gain stacking 10% bonus to hit chance and dodge reduction against any target they hit with a single target attack. Successful critical hits from single target attacks increase the hit chance and dodge reduction by 20%. Tempting. Gains 5 movement point in the first round of combat. Every successful melee attack grants him +2 movement points for the next round. Okay. We haven't actually done a lot of melee with him because we get into combat with the enemy so far away, so he ends up usually just shooting. But yes, he's supposed to be a melee person. Pascal's attacks and effects of exposed weaknesses ability gain bonuses against enemies under the effects of the Machine Spirit's Communion, as if those enemies had 2 more stacks of exploit. Okay. Under the effects of the Machine Spirit Communion, his melee attacks deal an additional 15% damage and gain 15% armor penetration. Or allow him to do better healing. I don't think I'm going to go with acceleration protocols yet. We'll go with Persistence of the Forge. Bonus to hit and dodge reduction and critical hits. No. Just bonuses to hit and dodge reduction. And critical hits raise that bonus. It's still pretty good. And then for skills, you can't grab logic because you already have. Tech use is another one of his major skills. That would get it up to 90. That is such an insanely high number. Awareness is not your forte. Lord Imperium, no. Lord Xenos. Definitely could go Lord Xenos. He's probably our best there. Yeah, by far. And then we don't need you for Medicae. Although you're not bad at it. But we have Cabela for that. But I think Lord Xenos. Even though we haven't run into Xenos yet. At some point we're going to. Almost certainly. Magenta. Got nothing marked for you. You only have a choice of these 4. Wow. Soldier immediately dashes. Spending all their movement point does not provoke attacks of opportunity. Allows the soldier to dash through allies and enemies, but not through obstacles. Like, dashing through allies, I suppose, can speed her up a little bit. I don't think she's usually dashing through or has a need to dash through enemies. Next range area attack made by the soldier deals more damage and has an additional bunch of dodge reduction. That sounds really good. Assuming area attacks, I have to assume burst counts as an area attack, but it's not been clearly stated. I don't know. Soldier immediately spends their AP and MP, gaining a bonus to cover. Random trajectories. That's what I also don't know. Doubling the attacks. So her current bolter does 3 attacks. So this means she'd be shooting 6 attacks that are slightly less damaging. But the random trajectories. I think I'm going to have to see how that goes. Both of those are questionable. And then you also get a skill increase. You've already boosted demolition, so I can't grab that. Awareness is at 40. Athletics, we don't really have anyone who's great at it. Abelard's better than you would be even with your boost. You are one of my Medicae people. Or you were. Pascal and Cabela are better than you by far. And then Lore Imperium also has Cassia. Super high up there. Yeah, we're getting to the point where none of these skills really matter because we're only looking at skills that other people are already doing better at. I'm going to go with Medicae. Even though we already have 2 other Medicae people, having more people capable of doing healing is never going to be a bad thing. Lastly, Cabela. Oath of Vengeance. So this is one that costs wounds, which we knew we were going to start finding those. Selects an ally until the end of combat. Attacks made by the Blade Dancer against enemies who have already been attacked. Who have already attacked that ally. Gain more crit chance and more crit damage. Veil of Blades faces side of their choice immediately ends their turn. Until the beginning of the Blade Dancer's next turn, they can dodge area attacks without moving, are immune to all types of forced movement, gain more parry against attacks from that side, and can now parry attacks made against adjacent allies. Can even parry ranged attacks except for ranged area attacks made from that side. The chance to parry a ranged attack is calculated as if it were a melee attack. If the attack is parried this way, it can be redirected towards one of the enemies on the selected side. Chance of a redirection is equal to half the Blade Dancer's parry chance against this attack. That one sounds pretty cool. The 10 wounds is rough, so that's not something we'd want to set up all the time. Definitely a maybe. Blood Oath. Blade Dancer targets a single enemy, vowing to dispatch their mark. The next attack against the selected enemy cannot be dodged or parried. If this attack kills the target, the Blade Dancer regains 15 wounds and gains 1 AP, along with an additional attack this turn. This ability can be used multiple times per turn, but grants +1 AP and an additional attack only once per round. Okay. That's also tempting. You spend 10 wounds to make sure that you're going to kill or hit someone, and if you know you're going to kill them, then you'll get your wounds back. Blade Dancer's next attack inflicts bleeding 10 on all targets hit. Our targets must pass toughness resistance test with a -22 penalty, become immobilized for a round. So do I get a good amount of parry from an attack or from a side? Or do I allow myself even more ability to kill enemies? Either way, it takes 10 wounds. I'm going to go Veil of Blades, but I'm probably going to grab Blood Oath soon. Okay, and then we get another talent. Blade Dancer makes any attack made with the sword deals agility bonus % additional damage. This bonus is doubled if using a two-handed sword. She's not using two-handed swords currently. Your Medicae is now determined by weapon skill rather than intelligence. What's your weapon skill? 40 and intelligence is 35. That is a tiny difference. Blade Dancer's maximum wounds are increased by your dodge bonus divided by 10. Each attack made increases the damage of subsequent attacks. Oh. Blade Dance and other attacks that hit multiple people are considered a single attack. That's not as cool. I was imagining using Blade Dance so that she strikes 3 or 4 times and getting a stacking damage on the following attacks, but no. Increasing things by attribute bonus percentages is always strange to me. Like, a 5% bonus just doesn't feel very big. Sweeping motions. Melee attacks cost 1 AP less. Okay. None of these really stood out to me as being terribly awesome, and those are the ones they're recommending as the best, which doesn't speak highly of the rest of these. I mean, we were looking at this one before. No, this one. No, I think it was this one. This is the one where they get a stack every time they take damage from bleeding, burning, or toxin, which is better than just when those are first inflicted on them. So sure, we'll go with that. I don't think any of hers really stood out to me as being terribly important. I mean, there is something like this that makes things that cost wounds no longer cost wounds. Or something like this, yeah, where when they use an ability that costs wounds, they gain temporary wounds. Yeah, we'll go with that. Alright, with that all out of the way,